record. Now let me share. Sorry. All right, so here are the holiday schedules. November 6th in service, Thursday and Friday, November the 27th, or 26th and 27th. That's Thanksgiving. Monday, December 21st. Friday, or I'm sorry, Monday. What is that? Monday. Well, hold on. Let me look at the calendar. I guess Monday's the 21st, and it goes through Friday, the January the 1st is Christmas break. Please note that class will resume January 4th. Please remember that January 4th is when class starts, okay? I think it was a different date, so they are asking you to just make sure you look and make sure that you know that class starts on January the 4th, okay? Coming back from Christmas break. Hybrid classes, guys, remember, and this is something very important, and I'm gonna repeat it in a little while, or closer to the end of the class. Let me write a note to myself to do that. But you need to check your email. Check your school email. Make sure that you, because I know closer to, because we're, week 3 right now. We just entered week 3 of this class, right? Our beginning of week 3. So there's only 3 more weeks of this class, and you've got to, and with that said, that means that there's, they're going to be asking you really soon if you want to be on hybrid classes or if you want to be on, online or whatever else. And please don't forget what Chef Robin said during that little meeting. She came into the class and she said, basically, if you do not reply to that email asking you if you want to do hybrid or if you want to do online, if you do not reply, that means you basically you are going to be 100% online. So if she gets no email from you or no response, that means you're getting put on 100% online. So please make sure you check that email, you check and recheck, and I'll let you know when that email is going to be coming out. She usually sends me an email or saying, hey, I'm sending out an email to all your students. Just make sure that they know. So I will make sure you know, but please check your email. Let's see. If you need any assistance, here are some assistant areas where you can get assistance through Austin. Let's see, you've got housing, you've got some bill and all of that sort of good stuff. And if you do, have any problems paying bills or doing anything like that, please do not ever hesitate to come talk to me, and we can try to go talk to the school and financial aid. There are all sorts of different ways in different things you can do to try to get a little extra money through the school and through other places. So don't ever hesitate to, say, hey, is there any, anything y'all can do? And I know that we do stipends, we do Pell Grant, we do all sorts of things. So do not hesitate to try to ask the school for help. COVID-19, again, wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance, and try to avoid getting someone sick if you were sick. Here's few, if you've had any losses, and I can only imagine there is almost everybody has been touched by this some way, somehow. You know, if you need any support, don't ever hesitate to get some support, emotionally, mentally, you know, you name it. Let's see here, financial aid. If you need any financial aid questions, these are the people to talk to right here. And Mary Reardon for any sort of account needs. If you are needing to deal with your money for your school or any of that sort of stuff. Here we go, Zendesk, this desk right here. This will help you with any sort of problems with your computer or with your email or any of that sort of stuff. Just contact the Zendesk, oops. And here is another Zendesk information and their website. How to make a disinfectant, half a cup of Clorox to 1 gallon of water. Uniforms, these people will help you find a job. They're amazing folks. They will help you out. If you need a job, please do not hesitate to email them or to call them. Featured employers, here we go. Kendahari, guys, that's a big place, a huge place. It is a resort in Round Rock or Pflugerville area, kind of the Round Rock, Pflugerville area. I don't think it's not open yet. I think it opens up during Christmas time, but I mean, it is from what it sounds like, it is one of the biggest resorts gonna be here in Central Texas area. It's got a huge indoor swimming pools. I mean, it's kind of like if you've ever heard of Great Wolf Lodge, but it's like it's like that, but like 10 times bigger. It's got a huge indoor water park. Probably, I think, supposed to be one of the biggest indoor water parks and all of that sort of stuff. Really nice restaurants, like over the top, like everything is over the top. So, you know, I know a few people that are going to be starting there, but it's opening November 12th. So anyway, very, very cool. Hopefully I get to go look around and check it out before it opens up. And then True Food Kitchen. Here we go. You got a couple other places here if you need any jobs. Guys, these people need workers. I mean, if you need a job, you can get a job right here in any of these places. Let's see, also our student, if you want to work at the school, you go from 6 a.m. to 12, 9 to 3, or 12 to 6. You can work at the school in the storeroom. It's air conditioned. You get to meet a lot of people, all of that good stuff. But if you want to work, go for it. These are the two people, Stanley Holt and Chef Rafferty. You probably can't see it because that little thing is in the way. But Stephen Rafferty, or S. Rafferty. Here you go, just for fun. That's kind of funny, but not this early in the morning. Quote of the week: live it, love it, breathe it, be one with it. You are the driver of your own life. Do not let anyone steal your seat. Yeah, that's heavy. That's deep. All right, we got recipe of the week, Jamaican chicken. Submitted by Chef Raff. There's Chef Raff right there. He's a great guy. You'll get to know him a lot once you get to go on campus. Here it is. If you want to take a picture of it, I will post this on the portal if you would like it. It is good. I promise you, I've had it before. And now the trivia. Who wants to read the trivia? Someone read the trivia for me. Anybody? Bueller.
Smyrna? Is that how you pronounce that? Smyrna?
Yeah.
Smyrna, white, San Pedro, Brunswick, and striped tiger are all types of what? Cutes, figs, pears, grapes, or apples?
What do we think? You want to put it in the chat? Let me open up the chat real quick and see what people say. You can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a 5. We got a 4. Alan said 5. Roy said 4. Is that it? Amy says 4. All right. 2, 3. I have no clue. I have a 4. All right, we ready? Drum roll. And it is a fig. All right. We got some. Austin, you did 2. Is there another 2? All right, Austin, you're the big winner. All right, all right, all right. Close this. Thank you for all that has sent me the homework. If you have not sent it to me, please send it to me by the end of the day. And that is a name of your restaurant, whatever restaurant you want, a mission statement, and what kind of, what your kind of cuisine is going to be, what are you going to be doing, any of that information. So we're going to be talking about target market, and this is something you're going to have a little bit of homework as well, maybe not today, but tomorrow, asking about, tell me who your target market is going to be for your restaurant. And we're going to be talking about that today. I am going to show a video right off the bat. So let me get that started. Are there any questions so far? Everybody good? Let me see some faces. I'm going to at least. Any faces? Oh, yay. Hello. Okay, thank you. Then you can turn them off. It's okay. I just wanted to see a few faces. I just saw nothing. But that's all right. Okay, so you can turn it. If you want to turn off your camera now, you can. Thank you. All right, so we've got. We're gonna watch this video, and then we will get this party started.
Hey, Chef, I don't think the screen's sharing.
Do what?
Are you supposed to be sharing the screen?
Oh, is it not sharing?
No, I can't see.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Thank you.
Okay.
But y'all could hear it, right?
No, I couldn't hear either.
Oh, you
Works.
couldn't hear it? Okay. All right. Then is it good now? Can y'all hear it and see it?
How to start a
All right, thank you.
restaurant
Yeah,
business.
we can hear now.
This video is designed to help you determine if your restaurant business idea is feasible. To identify questions and problems you will face in converting your idea into reality. And to prepare for starting your restaurant business. The video features all the essential aspects you must consider before you start your restaurant business. This will allow you to predict problems before they happen and keep you from losing your shirt on dog business ideas. At the end of the video there is a valuable free gift waiting for you. A token of appreciation for watching this video. Operating a successful restaurant business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication and willingness to sacrifice to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Identify your reasons. As a first and often overlooked step, ask yourself why you want to own your own business. Check the reasons that apply to you. 1. Freedom from the 9-to-5 daily work routine. 2. Being your own boss. 3. Doing what you want when you want to do it. 4. Improving your standard of living. 5. Boredom with your present job. 6. Having a product or service for which you feel there is a demand. Some reasons are better than others, none are wrong. However, be aware that there are trade-offs. For example, you can escape the 9-to-5 daily routine, but you may replace it with a 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. routine. Preliminary analysis, major flaws. A yes response to questions such as the following would indicate that your business idea has little chance for success. 1. Are there any causes, such as restrictions, monopolies, shortages, that make any of the required factors of operation unavailable, such as unreasonable cost or scarce skills? 2. Are capital requirements for entry or continuing operations excessive? 3. Is adequate financing hard to obtain? 4. Are there factors that prevent effective marketing? A self-analysis. Starting a business requires certain personal characteristics. This portion of the video deals with you, the individual. This next group of questions, though brief, is vitally important to the success of your plan. It covers the physical, emotional, and financial strains you will encounter in starting a new business. Are you aware that running your own business may require working 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, and maybe even Sundays and holidays? Do you have the physical stamina to handle the workload and schedule? Do you have the emotional strength to withstand the strain? Are you prepared, if needed, to temporarily lower your standard of living until your business is firmly established? Is your family prepared to go along with the strains they too must bear? Are you prepared to lose your savings in case your plan fails? Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer with many employees and millions of dollars in equipment to the lone window washer with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills required for these two extremes are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face in your early planning will be to find your niche and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time is very good advice, but following that advice may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. So far, this video has helped you identify questions and problems you will face, converting your idea into reality and determining if your idea is feasible. Through self-analysis, you have learned of your personal qualifications and deficiencies, and through market analysis, you have learned if there is a demand for your product or service. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Name and legal structure. 1. Have you chosen a name for your business? 2. Have you chosen to operate as sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation? Business premises and location. 1. Have you found a suitable building in a location convenient for your customers? 2. Can the building be modified for your needs at a reasonable cost? 3. Will you have a lawyer check the zoning regulations and lease? Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan based upon estimated sales to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business, you need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing, or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business, must be divided into 2 parts, immediate costs and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a restaurant business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea and do as much as you can yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, here is your valuable free gift. It's a book featuring a complete restaurant business plan template that you can copy and use. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached.
All right. So what I want you to get out of this video, or what I wanted you to get out of this video, is basically that there are lots of things you need to think about before you open up a business, right? You need to think about, many things. So, did anybody find or hear anything that they hadn't thought about that that they should have before they start the business off? Having extra operating expenses, making sure you can, because most restaurants don't make money in the first year. So you need to be able to have enough money in your bank account or whatever else to basically get it so you can pay your employees to do all of that sort of stuff without closing your doors up. You know, making sure you have enough money in your bank account. I mean, very, very, very important. Making sure that you are making a business that your customers want. That's something. So sometimes I see businesses and I question, did they really look and see what the clientele really wants? And sometimes I question that because of where they're located or what they're doing or who their target market is and all of that sort of stuff. So the most important thing is to figure out who you want to come in your door, plain and simple. You know, do you want this section of people, these people, those people? You know, really, you want everybody to come, right? So your goal is to figure out a way to make a business that is not alienating anybody, right? That brings in everybody, that everybody wants to come in from all different walks of life, all different, you know, colors, to all different religious, to all everything, right? You want them all because everybody's money spends, right? Everybody's money spends. I could care less what, you know, what it is, but I want their money. I want their money, plain and simple. So give me 1 second. I had a few people come in on break. I need to put their attendance or mark them off real quick. Did Heidi come in here? Hi, Courtney, no Courtney, no Heidi. Hold on a second. Sorry, I just need to make sure that I get them. All right, 2 people out today. Nice. Okie dokie. Let me get back to my PowerPoint. All right. Okay, so brands. We're going to be talking about brands. And there was one person that actually gave me, and who was it? Just let me look at my email. Austin sent his kind of picture, what he wanted, or his kind of logo. But we're going to be kind of coming up with logos as well as, you know, like your brand or branding. But what is a restaurant branding? What if someone said, you know, what is the brand of this restaurant or branding? Anybody know, kind of could tell me what branding is? What
I mean,
is branding?
I would say it's how people know your restaurant, kind of like the flack you have. Like when people hear about your restaurant, this is what's related with it.
Yeah, totally. It's what people think. It's what it's maybe even a logo, if you will. Your brand. You know, you've got what people, how people identify your product or your place of business, whatever it is, however they identify it, and usually it's a picture. I mean, just think of you know, I mean, the golden arches, McDonald's, right? And sorry guys, I got the hiccups. I'll get rid of them in a couple minutes. But the branding, a brand could be the Golden Arches and all of that. But your mantra, your what people think of you, any of that sort of stuff. That's what you know. What people how people identify with whatever you kind of have, but your business. So that that it's basically the look, it's the feel, it's the it's the fish or of this object right here, whatever else, but it's branding, how people like perceive you. Restaurants brand, it's basically a personal identification, whatever else. Think of Pepsi, Coca-Cola. Think of those are brands. That's a brand name. I mean, it's a brand name, but also a brand. When you think of Coke, I think of more than Coca-Cola. I think of the Coke brand itself. I mean, Dasani is a Coke brand, right? Coca-Cola owns Dasani, so that Dasani is a Coke brand. But branding, something that people, like their mission, their value, how guests kind of perceive them, any of that sort of stuff. Loyalty, does a restaurant branding kind of increases loyalty as well? I mean, if people look, how amazing is it that someone wants to buy a shirt from your restaurant or buy a, swag from your restaurant, a koozie from your restaurant or whatever else, right? That's pretty awesome because that's free advertisement, man. I mean, that's like, that gets your name out there. It gets your what I call your brand, whatever your brand is. It's pretty amazing, and I will put on the chat later on. I'll get onto Facebook. I've had a student that went to culinary school, and now he does he cooks but he also like makes clothes as well. And like, he's got stuff that, his brand out there, in California or Austin or whatever else, he has his brand out everywhere. And branding is very important. Why? Because you want people to remember you, right? You want to remember whatever it is. First of all, you want to make sure that your business is what you want them to remember, the good stuff about your business, right? You don't want them to remember the bad stuff about your business. So you want to make sure you brand yourself correctly and make sure that people understand your brand. Because, I mean, has anybody ever been to a restaurant and, saw the sign or whatever else out in the restaurant, or a business? You saw the sign and you thought it was one thing, but you walked in and it was another thing. Maybe that was a different brand. Maybe they didn't brand themselves correctly. They didn't use a good logo, or the name of it was confusing to people, or whatever else, or something that people are not wanting to come in because of maybe the brand or the logo or the confusion of it all. So make sure you understand what it is, and I would look at it, whatever name you come up with it, Google that name and try to find different pronunciation, make sure, that it's spelled correctly. People like to spell like businesses really weird sometimes, so just make sure you spell it, not in a weird manner or whatever else that people don't understand. But just loyalty. You want people to be loyal to your brand. Just like, guys, I mean, here's a good example. You know, when I smoked, okay, and I smoked for years, right? You know, I used to smoke, or when I first started, I was like smoking Marlboro Lights or whatever else. And then what did I, and I moved here to Austin, and I started going down out on 6th Street, and this was years and years ago, right? And during that time, Camel, the Camel brand cigarette people, they would go around to all the bars and all of that at night, and they would have people going around to, you know, to the bars, and if you signed up something, you know, the Camel brand people, they would give you, like, I don't know, 5 packs of cigarettes or whatever else, you know, if you signed up or for something, but they would give you some free cigarettes and like you know, like coupons and all of that sort of stuff. And once that happened, like, I became loyal to the, like, Camel cigarette brand, right? So I was smoking Camels all the time, or whatever else, or Coca-Cola. You know, I mean, you know, people are loyal to the Coca-Cola brand, to the, you know, hell, how about Nike? I mean, hell, I mean,
Jordans.
Jordans, you know, Lululemon, you know, all of the, I mean, I've got 2 daughters, so I mean, I'm everything's Lululemon, and you know, at my house or whatever else, but or want to be Lululemons, because Lululemons are expensive. But you know, all of those name brands, right? People want in that loyalty, right? People will actually not buy the product, wait to because they're going to save up money to buy the more they're loyal, because they'll buy, you know, Nike or Jordans or whatever else. So once you have a loyal customer, holy crap, that's awesome, right? That's what you want, is someone that's loyal to you, to your brand, and your brand only. I mean, hell, Chick-fil-A, I mean, there's with the Chick-fil-A sauce, all of that. So, you know, people are loyal to it. It's amazing. When you're trying to restaurant brand, you know, trying to get restaurant branding, you need your name of your restaurant. This is kind of elements of a restaurant branding. Your name. It could be, your name could be the brand. I mean, McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's is a brand. But what's the second one? Anybody want to read that while I take a sip? What's the second thing? Concept. Okay, now the concept is kind of what you already kind of came up with, kind of a name, or if you haven't come up with a name, you can still come up with your name of your restaurant, and you know, if you need to change it or whatever else, that's fine. But your concept, you know, what kind of food are you going to make? Is it going to be a brick and mortar restaurant? Is it going to be a food truck? Is it going to be, what is it going to be, right? Then you've got your mission statement. What makes you, so you've already gotten kind of these 3 items, if you will, you know, already taken care of, right? So you've already taken, you know, or your homework should have taken care of 1, 2, and 3. But it's a living document. So if you're, you know, if you want to change your menu or change your name, you can. But these are the steps we've gotten so far: name, concept, and mission statement. And then we got logo. You know, Austin created a logo. Austin, are you there? Austin? Can I show them your logo that you made?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna let me pull it up. All right, so here is the orange wave. That's his logo. I like it. It's simple. It you know, I mean, you know, that's kind of his logo. What he was going to do. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can kind of create whatever you want, but you need to kind of have a logo for your business. Okay, you need to make sure you have a logo for your business. Let me get back to sharing. Hold on. All right, so a logo. You're going to need to come up with a logo. So that's going to be a step that we're going to be going through. You need to know the demographics, and that's going to who the people you want to serve. Style of service. What style of service is it going to be? Is it going to be a buffet? Is it going to be all to go? Is it going to be you know, what is it? A Russian style, American style? You know, is it going to be fast casual? What is it going to be? Then you've got your ambiance or decor or atmosphere, if you will. The ambiance is something very important. You know, and honestly, that's the decoration, the art on the wall, all of that. You know, you need all of that. Then the food, what the food is going to be, the menu, what's the menu going to be, and then merchandising, any sort of branding or merchandising or any of that sort of stuff. You know, those are the kind of the steps of the process that needs to happen. Now, for what we've gotten done so far, we've already basically done 1 through 3. We're going to be doing 4, 5, and 6 this week. We're going to be doing those this week, and you're going to be turning in basically 4s, 5, and 6. The demographics, the style of the restaurant, and the logo. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Now, let's go ahead. It is 7:02. Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break, and about 7, let's go 7:12, 7:12 or 7:13, somewhere around there. Cool.
All
I'm
right,
back
sounds good.
in 10. All right. All right, we'll get back started. One second. All right, so we're going to be talking about all kind of going over back to here. So these are the sections we're going to be talking about, all of these. So you've got your name. Name a restaurant should give the customer a pretty good idea of what the food and what you're serving, right? You know, it should. You know what? Now, when it comes to restaurants that have kind of a weird name or a hard name to pronounce, sometimes that's the difficult. That's kind of a difficult. Some people don't know what to call it. So if they don't know what to call it, they probably won't call it anything, and they won't go. A lot of people have, or a lot of customers and a lot of research is proven that if they have a hard time saying the name, people do not typically go there as much. But I think that might be changing a little bit. But you know, making it so where people understand it. You know, instead of, you know, if I had this restaurant, you know, and it's a pizza place, well, it makes no sense. So just make sure, you know, the name says it all. You know, I would say that your concept, you know, you just want the name to kind of fit the restaurant or whatnot. You know, I mean, a little bit, but again, you can have Cliff's restaurant. You know, I mean, if you really want it to be, or whatever restaurant it is, but it's just got to fit that kind of decor, fit the, you know, everything, and fit who your target market is going to be. Again, what if I had a restaurant called Porky's, and I had that restaurant and it was all about pig, you know, anything that has to do with a pig, you know, and I had that close to, you know, my population, or the building is in an area where there's a lot of Jewish people. Well, that would be stupid, right? Because they're not going to eat pork, right? So just making sure that, you know, everything, my concept fits everything that I want it to fit. Let's see, make sure you have different types of restaurants at different ranges of, you know, formula, different formula levels, all of that. Let's see. So tell me some, if I said, give me a concept, someone tell me what a concept is. Anybody?
Fusion.
Yeah, I mean, it can be anything. I mean, it's could be fusion, it could be, but a concept includes menu design, service style, dining room decor. You know, I mean, here's a good concept of, is that Hollywood, Planet Hollywood? That's a concept. Hard Rock Cafe, that's a concept, right? So everything revolves around rock and roll, right? Or music of some sort, or House of Blues. You know, those are concepts, and everything revolves around that concept. From even some of the names of the food that's on the menu, right? It could be the Elvis burger, or it could be the, you know, or it could be whatever, you know, Ozzy Osbourne burger, you know, whatever else. I don't know. You know, I mean, it really, you know, whatever they have, you know, it could be, you know, the branding and the concept could kind of intertwine all together, and all of that. But that the concept can basically what you're going to be. You know, I mean, there was a bar years ago here in Austin that was it was maybe Sharks or Sharkies or something, that, you know, the bottom of the dance floor had, you know, it was a kind of an aquarium with sharks swimming on the ground or whatever else. You know, I mean, just some sort of concept, you know, something that brings people in, that draws people to come in. You know, McDonald's, that was a concept, you know, and for many years, McDonald's, you know, they were playgrounds outside for kids, all of that was their concept, right? So, you know, so all of these things are concepts, are what I call brand, and kind of branding and your concept and your design and all of that kind of gets intertwined all together. But you know, all of this stuff kind of revolves around what you need to kind of do to draw people in. I mean, an unnamed place is not going to draw people in. An unnamed place, or something that has no, you know, no design on the inside or no decor. You know, they need, you know, a lot of times people need, you know, they use a logo to identify your brand, if you will, you know, like, but, you know, these are the things you're going to be needing. Let's see, a concept. Someone read this slide for me, please.
Concept. Many restaurants are conceived based on a chef's personal experiences, or interests. Heritage, local ingredients, traditions, or family are all common sources of inspiration for restaurant concepts. Concepts
Thank
can
you.
also be defined by a chef's travel experience, training, or an interest in a certain area of art, science, or culture, because food is, after all, a mixture of all those things.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, it's a mixture. It's a kind of a, you know, it's what you want your, I consider a concept is what you want your customers to think about you, right? Think of, let's, someone come up with a restaurant, and let's talk about their concept. Who wants to come up with some restaurant that's out there? Let's say Hop Dotties or Little Dotties. You have Hop Dotties, and then you got Little Dotties, right? And you know, those are two different brands, two different styles. They're, you know, you've got, you know, you've got many hundreds of different brands out there, hundreds of different things, but just trying to figure out what you can do to brand yourself, to identify yourself, to make people know that this is you and no one else. So that's why, you know, logos are important. That's why you hear a lot of times when you hear a lot of companies getting sued because of their logo might infringe someone else's logo. Why? Because you don't want. Hey, has anybody ever seen Coming to America?
Yes, sir.
You know, it's a very old school movie, but you know, I'm using the McDonald's versus McDowell's. You know, if you've ever seen
Golden Arches versus the Golden Arcs.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, but you know, and this is one of the reasons why you try to, you want to, you know, trademark or copyright your items and all of that, because of, you know, you want to, you don't want people to steal your you know, your stuff, because of that's what people identify your restaurant with, right? And if your restaurant, you know, looks, it's kind of like a you know, knockoff brand Dooney Bird bags or Coach bags or whatever kind of, all of those kind of, I mean, I'm surrounded by females in my house, so everything's, purses and all of that. But in any of that sort of stuff, like, you need to make sure that it's the right stuff, that it's your logo, it's your product, because if not, if it's a knockoff kind of a thing, people are gonna think, oh, well, their brand sucks, right? So they're gonna equate it to the bad brand. So making sure your brand is something that people look at and want and think that it's proper, a proper, brand. It's not an ugly brand, it's nothing that ugly or an eyesore or whatever else. You need to make sure you kind of look at it and try to figure it out and make sure that it is eye appealing. Mission statement. And we kind of did this, and your mission statements, the ones that I've read, are really good. And I'm going to be replying back. I replied, said, thank you, got it. I read some of them. I made some notes, and I'm going to send you some responses on what I think you might need to change, a few little things on your mission statement or whatever else. But mission statement should tell you the goals, the philosophy, whatever you want. If you source fresh produce every day, by goodness, say that we source fresh produce from the local farm to market area, whatever, farm to table company, whatever else. But whatever it is that you want people to know about you, put it down there, that you care about your surroundings, that you total utilize everything, or whatever it is, your mantra, your beliefs, whatever it is, you want your customers to kind of buy into your beliefs, right? If you are eco-friendly and you do this and do that, you're all, total eco-friendly kind of deal. Well, wouldn't anybody that's total eco-friendly kind of guru want to go eat at this restaurant because they're eco-friendly, because they want to support what they believe in, right? So a lot of times you want to make sure that, people understand what you believe in and your support, because people will want to support companies or businesses that believe in what they believe in, or that their values sync up with their values or whatever else. So making sure that your mission statement kind of goes along with your environment and everything else. If you say you're customer based or customer friendly or customer based, working and you're really not, well, then that you're defeating the purpose. People are going to say, well, you're not customer based. You're not worried about the customer. You're worried about your bottom line or whatever else. So mission statements are important. Logo. Honestly, a logo speaks thousands of words, almost like your job, your kind of job listing or your job aid that y'all did of just, it's a picture, things that can speak louder than words. It shows you exactly what you what you need. This is the spicy zone or whatever else. That tells me that it's going to be hot, or mod pizza or whatever. It tells me what I need to know. If I see a logo and I see a name, I need to be able to know what kind of restaurant it is by the logo and by the name. Okay. If I can't figure that out, then if I, a chef, or if I'm the, whatever, and if I can't figure it out, how the hell can someone else figure it out if in they're not going to be able to. So make sure that, your logo, all of that fits your theme of your restaurant, right? But logo should be small, smallish, but it should have, a name, initials, something around it. Maybe your color pattern, whatever your color pattern is out in the dining room, maybe your logo hits your color pattern, so where it all flows together. Any of that sort of stuff. Or here's a logo that, has some hidden meaning, it's a fork with a chicken, or whatever else. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can kind of do whatever. I mean, that tells me it's a chicken place, right? That's all that's okay. As long, even if I did not have a name of this restaurant, I could tell, okay, that's a chicken place, right? So I can, make it easy for the customers to understand what it is. I mean, if you have a big old orange sitting on as a logo, and you have nothing to do with an orange in your menu whatsoever, well, that's stupid. I mean, don't have an orange on your logo or whatever else. But you need to make sure that it's easy. People understand it. It goes along with your thing. I mean, here's a chicken right here. Well, if this is a steak place, it would be stupid to have a chicken fork right there. I should have a fork that looks like a cow instead of a chicken. If it was more of a place that I did all sorts of beef and no chicken, I want to make sure that, it's, my customers understand what it is they're getting into. Let's see. Because has anybody ever gone to a restaurant or gone to a business that you thought was one thing by the logo or by the name, and you walked in and it was something different? Has anybody ever been in that? Yeah, I mean, in that right there is poor logo design, poor name design, poor whatever design. That was horribly, because then they had a customer walk in and then immediately walk out because it wasn't what they expected it to be. And that's not what you want. You want people never to walk out without opening up their wallet or their purse or whatever else. Money pouch. All right, now demographics. Now this is something that's important, very, very important, because of I need to know who I want to serve. Now this can make people feel like I am maybe discriminating against other people. Absolutely not. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make an educated guess, and a good, really not an educated guess. It's more of a educated, information, because I look at a lot of good information, but trying to figure out who is going to walk through my door. Why do I want to know that? Why do I want to know who's going to be coming through my door in my business?
So you know what they want to experience.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't know, if I don't know if I don't know who's coming through my door, I don't know how to tailor it to what they like, right? Or tailor it to what this population of people want, right? Go ahead.
So I was a branding and marketing expert and coach.
Wow. How amazing is that? That's awesome. Go ahead. Please tell me.
But a lot of times I'd work with small businesses, and one of the bigger fears with narrowing down for our ideal clients is that you're afraid you're going to alienate people. But when you don't really get narrow on who you want to attract or who's coming through the doors, it's really about who you want to bring in through your doors. Like if you don't have that, then you start to bring in a bunch of random people, and then you kind of become confused about what you want to do because you're trying to respond to your audience, but your audience isn't cohesive. And
Yeah.
that's usually when you get a lot of PITA clients, pain in the ass clients, because
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
so the great thing about it is people think that they'll alienate if they narrow down, but the truth is you build a fan base that way. That's how you build people who are obsessed with you, and then they spread the gospel about what's going on at your restaurant
Yep.
instead of trying to catch everybody with a big wide net and doing everything. Get specific and targeted, and then those people will do the work for you.
Wow. You know what? Could I keep your contact information? Because I would love for you to maybe every time I talk to, I would love for you to talk to my classes all the time.
Totally, I love this stuff.
Because like marketing, I mean, because this is something I think people do not put enough time and effort into it. When you're looking at demographics and who's your target market. Because if you don't know who your target market is, and you said it perfectly, you as a company get confused because you're trying to tailor your business to your clientele, right? Because no one gives a rat's ass what Cliff Dickerson likes anymore. No one does. No one. I mean, if I opened up a restaurant and put all the foods that I like, that no one's gonna eat there, right? Because no one's like me. No one is like me. I'm trying to feed the masses and these people, this population of people that I want to bring in. So it is very important to market to who you are wanting to walk in the door. That is very important. And I know, like, there was some companies, and sometimes this information gets very very to the point and direct of to the point of how much the people make. Like I want to, because why would I want to know how much people make in
because then you can
go
know how much they can spend. So if you end up designing a very high end restaurant, but you didn't look at your demographics or your location or where you are, you might end up with a really high end restaurant in an area that can't afford the service, or they don't maybe understand the service, or they don't want the
exactly
service because it's too stuffy. But that
exactly
that would work in certain locations, maybe in the city or in New York where that works, but it won't work in other areas because it's just a different vibe. And
yeah
then the thing about knowing your demographics is it's the way that you can connect yourself and what you want to your audience, because at the end of the day we all want to do something that we're passionate about, and we want to create food that we care about. And understanding your target audience, the demographics, the people you want to bring in, and how you can generate revenue from that. Understanding those things first helps you to kind of build the bridge between your creative endeavor and having a business, not just a really expensive hobby.
I completely agree. And can you tell and I was going to go into like all the things that you look at for the demographics. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want
No, I
uh,
mean, I don't mind.
if you don't mind, I mean,
I
this
don't
is your
mind.
forte, and I would love to, I mean, like, what do you look for when you are like, I mean, for example, like traffic flow and all that as well to, religious aspects to, I
Mhm.
mean, could you go into detail of, or a little more detail of what y'all look for?
Yes. So what usually what
Thank
you
you.
do, you wanna pay to get the market. You're gonna have to invest a little bit to get the market research. And a lot of people skip this step because they think they make a lot of assumptions about the area that they're in. Like Austin is a great example of this because Austin is constantly changing and evolving. So you really probably need like marketing demographics every year or two, especially like if you look at the east side now is not what the east side used to be 10 years ago. So all of these restaurants coming up in the east side, if they would have done this maybe 10 or 15 years ago, they probably really would have struggled. But now because the demographics have shifted, and we won't get into the political reasons or any of that stuff.
Yes,
The fact is, the demographics have shifted, so a lot of those hipster concepts work now before they wouldn't have.
yes,
So it's really important to understand like the pulse of the place where you're living or working and how that city, especially if you're in a city, how it operates. Or even if you're in a smaller place, if you want to open a mom and pop shop in a smaller location, then you really got to know your town. So
For
part
sure.
of this paying for like market research, part of this is like being in the space where you want to be and getting to know the people. A lot of business is still knowing people because a lot what is happening now, like the trend is that people want to feel connected to whatever they're consuming. So you really have to, it's really a social business. Like everything is a social business at this stage. So when you're looking at demographics, you want to buy the research. It's out there, it's available. There's really smart people who have data scientists on this stuff. Like it's amazing the kind of information you can get. If you're, I mean, you guys might know, like if you watch the Social Dilemma or anything, there's algorithms and information about consumer purchasing behavior that it
Yeah.
almost feels evil, like what you can do, what you can learn about how people buy and why. And most of it is an emotional decision. So when you look at the demographics, you need to look at like the psychographics of the particular client that you want to attract. So looking at demographics, we're looking at like age, we're looking at personalities a lot, like and it is kind of stereotyping. You do want to be careful. Like a lot of businesses I was coaching over the spring had done some demographic work that was a little bit prejudice, and they learned that.
Mhm.
I was like, well, that explains why you wanted to attract certain things but you weren't able to because it wasn't authentic. You have to really like connect with the information. It's not just about a manipulation. So understanding like the crowd that you're like, let's say if you open a Mexican restaurant here in Austin and you open it in a predominantly Latin neighborhood, and if your Mexican food isn't, if it's like Tex-Mex and it isn't, quite on par, you're going to really struggle in that area because that area, that neighborhood, they're going to make their own recipes. They're going to have grandma's recipes. So they're going to, I actually saw this on a chef's table, one of the chefs who really struggled in Italy because he wanted to do like more modern concepts, and eventually he got there. But because he had opened this more modern concept restaurant in Modena, which was more traditional Italian cooking, his first like couple of years, he really, really struggled because they hated his food.
Of course, yeah, and I saw that too. That was a really good episode.
Yeah, but it's about, you just got to know the people that you want to serve. At the end of the
Yes.
day, every business is about connection, and it's still an energy exchange. It's not just people coming in and throwing money at you, even though like sometimes we don't really think about it in our daily life. We go to places where we enjoy ourselves and have
Yeah.
experience happiness. So we have to look at the demographics to really know what makes our customer tick.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I so
No
appreciate
problem.
you. I thank you. And I'm going to ask you to do and talk about a few other things later on. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And you brought up the connection, and I think, and I wrote that down, and I think it's very important. And you exactly said people want to feel connected to your business or to the brand. I mean, a good example. I mean, like I mean, my daughters. I mean, they are like very connected to Lululemon. I mean that's just something, and it's just kind of amazing how a brand or like, you know, whatever, but just these things, people want that connection. And, you know, like the Jordans,
Mm.
I mean, people want that, right? People, you know, seek out those, right? So you
Yeah.
want, and that's amazing, right? So,
Lululemon is a great example of, so they started off as a luxury yoga, like a luxury
mhm.
athleisure brand. And because they really built, this is the great example of building the fan base. They didn't cater to the masses. They weren't producing like Walmart style. It was very luxury. It's very expensive. And they were targeting that audience. And then eventually they did branch out and expand because the quality of the product was so good. Everybody wanted it. And now it's a name brand across America. I don't know anybody, men wear Lululemon now.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Yeah. And that right there is great marketing and great, you know, concept and great, you know, way to just keep going with your concept and keep going. People, you know, if you have a good focus. I mean, Chick-fil-A, another thing. I mean, I mean, they're closed on Sundays, and everybody knows it, and they still make money hand over fist all the time, and it's like those things people accept certain. I mean, I think it's really important to get a loyalty. Once you find loyal people, you're never going to lose your business because loyalty, you know, in loyalty programs and like you were talking of the algorithms and all of that sort of stuff. You do have like loyalty programs, for example, like there's a Randall's very close to my house. That's kind of a, I go to the Randall because Randall's for me is a little expensive, but Randall's is right beside, you know, close to my house, and it's like the, oh man, I ran out of milk kind of a thing, you know, would go. But they have a loyalty kind of a card program where I punch in my phone number or whatever else, and they use that to, you know, to look at what I buy and to figure out all sorts of what they should stock in the store and all of those things. They you know, they use all of those loyalty programs to help identify what I'm buying and why am I buying it, when am I buying it, so they can tailor everything to my experience, right? So I think that's very important. But demographics, and we're going to be talking more about that. And thank you so much for all your wonderful knowledge on that. And now that styles, different styles of restaurant, you know, are you going to have a table side cookery? Yeah, if you've ever been to Papados or Papacitos, which is the Mexican food restaurant, is that Papados? Always get both of them mixed up. Anyway, whatever the Mexican food restaurant is, they make their homemade guacamole in front of the, you know, table side, or are you going to have, you know, desserts table side like Cherry's Jubilee or whatever else, you know, any of those things? Are you going to do it more of a buffet restaurant? Or are you going to do, you know, so all sorts of, what is the style going to be? Is it going to be a fast casual? Is it going to be, you know, a very fine dining restaurant? Or is it going to be just a fast food type of restaurant? So what kind of restaurant is it going to be? You have fine dining, bistro, mid-scale dining, family style, coffee shop, bar, a pop-up, just a random pop-up, a ghost restaurant. I'll talk about that. You know, fast casual, buffet, food truck, ghost restaurants. Those are kind of like restaurants that, you know, you kind of like just a restaurant where you can go in and you can cook your own food, kind of a deal. If you're like a, well, I think, oh, no. All right, so a ghost restaurant is like one of the places where you can go in, and if you're like a food truck and you need to go, go work at a restaurant, or you need to cook, or you're doing a farmer's market and you need to cook some food in a health department certified kitchen. That's what a kind of a ghost kitchen is. Or if you've ever seen like a incubator, kind of a company where you're testing out food, that kind of a ghost kitchen, just a kitchen that has really nothing in there other than equipment. It's not really a restaurant. It's just kind of a ghost kitchen kind of a deal. But then we've got decor. We need to, and that's part of kind of the whole atmosphere. But the decor, what does it look like on the inside? And I don't know how many people have been in. How many people live in Austin right now? One or two. Half of y'all, maybe a little bit less. But if you've ever been to, if you ever have heard of the Oasis, the Oasis used to be, or it still is, but has amazing atmosphere, beautiful atmosphere, beautiful decor, everything else. But back a long time ago, the food sucked. I don't know about it now. I haven't been back there in a long time, but the food sucked years ago. But the atmosphere and the ambiance was really amazing. People would only go for really the ambiance and the sunsets and all of that. But the decor is very important. No one wants to see a ugly decor, or a decor that just doesn't match the theme, or whatever else, so you want, the lighting to be good. Guys, I'm in my late 40s right now, and you know what? My eyes, not so good. I mean, I like to have a little light when I'm seeing my menu. If there is not much light, if the ambiance is the lighting down, let's make sure the menu, I can see the menu, the writing is big enough, or whatever else. But lighting is very important. In general, it's very important. It sets the mood. It sets the stage for what you're going for. The food's gotta be good. People's gotta, it's gotta look sexy. I mean, tell me right now, who wants to eat ugly food? No one wants to eat ugly food. No one in the world. Everybody wants sexy food, sexy looking food. That's what we want. Shiny, glistening, something that looks sexy, that's not ugly, that's not slop thrown on a plate, like prison food or jail food, whatever else. We don't want that. We want some sexy looking food. Make it look good. All of those things. All right, let's take 10 minutes. Come back in 8 o'clock. We good? Everybody good? 10-minute break.
Sounds good, Chef.
Cool. Hey, Gary,
Yeah, chef.
where's that photo from? Is that the Spanish Steps? That photo that you have right there with your photo on it. Where is that from? Gary?
Yes, that is the Spanish Steps, chef.
All right, that's what I thought. All right, cool. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I lived in Italy for almost 8 years.
Probably one of my favorite places. Just my wife asked me yesterday, Cliff, when are we going to go back to Italy? And I said, maybe when the kids are out of the house. So it's probably one of my favorite. My wife and our favorite places is Italy.
Yeah, I love
Florence,
Roma.
Rome,
Roma is awesome.
and
Yeah.
Rome, Florence, and I love Milan. And I love I love Italy in general.
Yeah,
Italy's
I
just-
do too. I mean, we're gonna end up retiring there when I get, a little bit older.
Is
But
that
yeah,
right?
That's
Is that
oh,
right?
definitely.
You know-
That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna. I love Italy. Italy's one of my favorite places. I've been there once, and we were there for a couple weeks, years and years before kids were born. So this is years
Yeah.
ago. But
I understand that.
yeah, but it's.
Yeah.
I thought that was Spanish Steps. Cool.
Yeah, it was. You're right, chef.
Cool. All right, we got another minute, and we'll get started. So I was very disappointed in my UT football game. It was such an emotional roller coaster on Saturday, up and down. But you know what? They didn't deserve to win because they played like crap at the very beginning. They wanted it at the very end, and that's why they started trying that hard. But other than that, they didn't want it hard enough. OU wanted it. But I think there might be
That's how I felt with the Chiefs yesterday.
Yeah. I think there might be a change in. I'm wondering if there's going to be a change in coaching for UT soon. Yeah. Alan's shaking his head, yes. All right, well, it's 8 o'clock. We'll get back started again. All right, so the menu, guys. The menu is very important, and we're going to focus 100% on the menu, in this class. This class is why we're trying to make a menu, and we're going to come up with a menu, and I'll show you different designs of menus throughout this, but a menu should be easy for the customer to read, should be, it should speak thousands of words, right? And it should show words. It should, a menu is very, very important because that's what people are looking at to now buy something, right? And now menus are not just paper and all of that. Now, especially during COVID times, I went to District Bar and Grill. There's one in South Austin area, but when we went, we had to scan a QR code, and that brought up the menu. Especially, because they don't want people touching the menus. So, but menus are going to be digital. It could be printed out, whatever else, but it's what the customer is going to buy. So, it needs to look good. It needs to be able, legible. It should, there's many things it should be, and it should never be confusing. If I hear this menu is confusing, I did my job totally wrong. I should be fired. Because if a menu is confusing, then people are not going to want to buy stuff, or it's too busy, or whatever else. Has anybody ever been to Cheesecake Factory? Or before that?
There's way too much stuff on that menu.
There is way too much stuff. Or Bennigan's back in the days, or TGI Fridays, or whatever else. They used to, a lot of those places had kind of, I know Cheesecake Factory, the menu is like huge.
It's
it is a book.
Chef,
And
do you know how do they operate with all of how do they do that?
None of it's fresh, obviously. It's all frozen, right? So everything that they that's on there is frozen, and a lot of it is that just the quality of the food is going to be poor because all the food, because what if, I don't know, so they have probably some random food, I don't know, let's say calamari for some reason, and no one wants to have calamari, at the Cheesecake Factory because it's just kind of a random thing or whatever else. Well, that the calamari is probably already breaded. Everything's, like it's pre-breaded, probably frozen, kind of like in a bag with kind of like French fries. How McDonald's has a bag of French fries, it's probably something like that. So a lot of it is frozen, so where it's can last a long time. So where it's a lot of reheating, that sort of stuff, because you couldn't have any of that fresh, because if it was a fresh product, you would be throwing it away, throwing away so much stuff, because is everybody going to buy all those random little things that are on the menu? Probably not. So it is very difficult, and the only way that it's feasible for them is buying not quality stuff, because it's going to be cheaper, and then it's going to be frozen. So, but I have a friend that or my kind of a family friend that is so that gets so much anxiety over having a menu that big. Like she won't go to a restaurant, or if she does, She will, if she has to go to a restaurant that has a large menu like that, she will get online and look at it way ahead of time and know before, because she gets that anxiety of doesn't know what to get and has a hard time making decisions and all of that sort of stuff. And it's just like, and it's kind of a crazy deal. And she avoids restaurants like that. So, you've got to be very careful. Big menus can give people anxiety. For me, it gives me anxiety because I know it's not fresh. None of it's going to be fresh. So it's all going to be kind of frozen or pre-packaged or kind of a reheat kind of a deal. Because a restaurant doesn't want to have all of this stuff and have it fresh because they're going to have to throw it away. And making sure that the prices are proper, branding, merchandise, anything like that. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, restaurants have T-shirts, Torchy's down the road in South Austin. They have T-shirts. You name it. I think you would be stupid not to get a T-shirt, to have T-shirts, or to have koozies made, or something like that, just because of that is free publicity. Every time someone wears your shirt around, you're getting free advertisement. Anybody that uses your koozie or whatever else, free advertisement, man. That is, granted, you had to buy the shirts or you had to buy them, but no matter what, I would much rather spend money on shirts or koozies and know that I got people that are maybe going to buy it. Maybe someone will buy it and wear it, and then if they do, wow, I've got people wearing my shirt of a restaurant around, and that's just free advertising for me. So I think that's also amazing. Plus it gets your brand out, it gets your name out, it gets it so where people see it more often, and as they get to know your brand, they're going to want to frequent your product or have your product more and more. If my goal is for you to come into my restaurant every single day of the week and spend all your money at my restaurant, or all your money at my business, whatever it is. I want your business 100%. So I'm going to do whatever I can to do it. And that's by branding it, by making the menu proper menu for what y'all want, making sure my demographics, I'm focusing on the people that I really want to come in, all sorts of things, right? That sort of stuff. That's what I want to make sure, and get you to become brand loyal, or loyal to my brand, loyal to my logo, loyal to me. Then I have just won. I've won the lottery. If I got you loyal to my brand or loyal to who I am, and you can see my logo and you can just call it out, then I've won the lottery, because I've just done exactly what I wanted to do, is get you to know who I am. Marketing your target marketing, and again, and I'm kind of beating the dead horse, but we kind of talked about it, but I'll talk about it again. Making sure that I market who I'm wanting to eat, here in South Austin. Okay, I'm in the burbs, right? I'm in Southwest Austin. I'm in the suburbs of Austin. I'm kind of off the beaten path area. So I'm Slaughter and Slaughter and Brody area, kind of a deal. So I'm kind of in the burbs. Who is the target market? You need to, and really, who is you? you know, I would go spend a little money, like, you know, like really spend some money so, and have a marketing company help you. And, you know, like we just heard, it's important to find out who it is that you are wanting to come eat at the restaurant. I mean, here in South Austin, Southwest Austin, I need to figure out what kind of restaurant do they want? What kind of people are around here? What kind of you know? Let's say I want to open up like a Ruth Chris Steakhouse. If I want to build a Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Southwest Austin, right at that Randall's and Starbucks area, right beside, you know, where Taco Bell used to be, or where Taco Bell is now. You know, I think that would be maybe not the smartest thing because of the money and where, you know, the fine dining establishment in Southwest Austin kind of might be a little weird. But how would I know? I need to figure out and go to these marketing companies, and they look at everything from traffic flow. I want to make sure that, you know, I want to make sure that there's flow, a lot of good traffic flow, is there room enough for people to park? Who are my clientele? Do I want to have teenage kids? Do I want to have people with families? If I'm in Southwest Austin, in the suburbs of Austin, I would be a complete idiot, a fool, not a smart business person if I did not do something with kids related. If I didn't have kid menu, if I didn't have some sort of maybe incentive thing for kids eat free, whatever else. Why? Because we are in the suburbs of Southwest Austin area, so where, you know, I got a lot of kids, a lot of families, so I need to tailor to families. All of that sort of stuff. By God, make sure you have a drive-through, multiple lanes, especially now, or ability to have some sort of kind of a pass-through window or something, because I mean that's a big deal now, especially when, you know, with COVID, and that is not going to go away. People are wanting to, you know, bring fancy food home, nice food home, without having to go out or having parking or having, you know, making sure you target to whoever you want. I think all of that is very important. Target marketing, you know, again, beating that dead horse, demographics, behavior. Who do I want in my restaurant every single day? Guys, my dog is freaking out. Give me 1 second. Let me let her outside. Sorry. And my wife started back to work at the public school today for first day. So she's not around to let her out anymore. All right. Just target market. Who are you looking for? Who do you want to sell your food to? I want to sell it to everybody, right? But you all, you know, everybody is a huge pool, right? I do want everybody, but I've got to narrow it down. I've got to narrow it down to who, and could you kind of, you know, I think because it's so important to do that, because if you don't narrow down your view, you're trying to get all the masses, and you're going to not do well, because you need to tailor to a certain group of people or a certain group, or and it's not a certain group, but it's maybe your location. Wherever you're located, there is certain people, certain areas that you might need to market. Does anybody else want to throw in anything about target market or any information before we kind of move on? All right. Sorry, with me talking a lot, I drink a lot of water, so I always have to refill. All right.
I want to say something real quick.
Yes, go for it.
Okay.
Please.
My part of my target market is gonna be those who have heart problems. Because
Yes.
back in December 2018, I had what they had called a massive heart attack and didn't know it.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's part of my agenda or my goal is to target that market so we can
Yes.
try to eat better, which is why I went vegan like 3 months ago. So
Oh, wow.
I'm in the process of learning to cook my food healthier. So that's
Yep.
part of the market that demographics that I want to
I,
reach.
I think that's a great target. I mean, especially right now, you've got, health in general is a great target market for people, but just making, heart healthy eating food for sure. I mean that, and especially, in Austin, and especially right after COVID, I mean, when I went to the doctor, my doctor told me, Cliff, you need to lose about 15 pounds, just because I gained it all in my gut, and it's just, healthier. So for sure, I think that's a great target market, and I think you would do a great business. You could, advertise in like with hospitals, and put, spend a little money and donate some money, and have your restaurant, name in a hospital, all of that sort of stuff. I think that's always a great idea. I think that's a great idea for sure. Here you go. Here's demographics. Is there any other information you used to use for your with your company?
Mostly what we would look at is we look at the demographics to kind of inform, but what I would really counsel people to look at is the psychographics and behavioral, because most purchasing decisions are emotional decisions. They're not logical. And so like with what Marilyn was saying she wants to do,
Yes.
it's really great that she already knows that, because there's a value, like the demographics and psychographics should inform the values for the client. That's basically what you're getting at. So like her clients are going to value healthy cooking or trying to figure out how to do that, and that'll inform every other move that she makes. She can always go back to that baseline as like, okay, this is the value and the experience that the client is going to have. So when you're looking at demographics, the ones that you look at demographics, you look at the geographics, but the really, really important ones are the psychographics and behavioral patterns, because that's going to inform what they actually get out of the experience with you. And at the end of the day, it's always about the experience. It's not, it is about the food, but it's about the experience of all of that. So yeah, I would like demographics and geographics you should look at 100%. They're critical, but the bottom two are the ones that like, those will make or break you.
I thank you so much. I actually got a little bit more information out of that with you telling me that. That's awesome. I agree, but I didn't realize that it was so important. That was very good. Thank you. Again, okay, target market, you've got, the city, in where you want to go, where do you want your restaurant? That once you figure out where you want your restaurant, then you kind of look at what is that target market around that area, all of that good stuff. And it's like that theory, what is what was that baseball? If they build it, they will come. What was that show called?
Field
Or
of
movie?
Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Thank you. Field of Dreams. It's not like the Field of Dreams where sometimes if you build it, they will not come. You need to market those people. You need to get those people to want to come to your place and all of that. So finding out all of these things: gender, age, occupation, education, household size, the value, their lifestyles, their values, that's the whole, health. Or do they value healthy eating? Do they value, exercise? Do they value, what is it that they value? Their lifestyles, all of that, and their behaviors, their loyalty, their brand loyalty, all of those things. And we know that those two things are the most important things, right? So those last two things, and they will help you out to get to who you want to serve the food or whatnot. Target market, here we go. Demographics, psychology, we've kind of already, the buying habits, we've kind of already gone through this. So I'm going to kind of push along. If there's anything that someone wants to talk about, that's fine. Speak up. And I'm trying to just kind of, because we've kind of talked a little bit about figuring out who your target customer is, all of that sort of stuff. This kind of repeats itself sometimes. Someone read this slide to me, or for us.
Competition analysis. Visit the competition to gather preliminary intelligence. Before you start writing your customer profile, you'll need to do some reconnaissance work to find out who's dining at similar restaurants. Make a list of the local competitors in the neighborhood in which your business will be located. Start by going in for a breakfast, lunch, dinner, or even a drink.
Thank you. Guys, you need to look at your competition. You need to see what they're doing. You need to understand what they're doing as well, and kind of figuring out what is, if they're successful, why are they successful? What is the competition doing? You got to look around, get to know what's happening in your neck of the woods, and because this is your livelihood. The more information you get, the more information you're going to have to be able to make informed, well-educated decisions about your business. Menu analysis, making sure that you look at what the menu, the price range, making sure that you're not pricing your customers out of the menu or of the food. What kind of promotions, any sort of specials, any of that, like kids eat free, girls night out, or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but something to get people in, to create a stir, to get people to come look at your facility, to be there. Age range, ratio from men to women, you want to make sure you have, especially if you're a bar, a dance club, or whatever kind of, you want a good ratio. So you need to figure out what kind of platform you're going to be advertising for men and women. What kind of groups are you going to have? A religious base? Is it business or whatever else? Families, friends? I think, music. Are you going to have Muzak, where you get piped in? Are you going to have live music? Are you going to have kind of a stage where you can have live music, or piped in music, whatever? what kind of what is it? What's the age range of your customers? Surrounding areas, landmarks, malls, shopping centers, what's around there. There was a point in my life I was looking at buying some franchises, and a lot of franchise companies like let's say McDonald's, or I was looking at like a Fazoli's or like a fast food Italian kind of a place, or like Chipotle or something like that. They require you to be if you get it, you have to be in a vicinity a certain amount of miles away from a mall, or you got to be by a Best Buy, or you've got to be in a certain area, whatever else. They sometimes require you to be in certain areas, but making sure you kind of know what's around you. What's friendly competition's good, but if you have 4 barbecue places and there's a 4-way stop, and there's 4 barbecue places, one of y'all or a couple of y'all restaurants aren't going to get used up as much. So maybe knowing what's around you, and maybe not saturating the market with too many of the barbecue places, or too many whatever. I think my area has too many oil change places. I swear, everything I see is a new oil change place going up or whatever else. But you need to make sure you don't saturate the market with what you're producing. Other information or data, you've got age, gender, location, music, atmosphere, dining, dress type, order, price point, how much people are willing to pay for a dish or for a certain item, how much people are willing to pay. What is the top dollar for a burger at a fast casual place? What is the top dollar that people are going to be willing to pay in Southwest Austin or wherever else? It really kind of depends. And you'll see this a lot in a good company a company that really tailors to the demographics is HEB. If you ever go to a HEB, you can tell who the demographics who their customer base is. You can tell by what they stock on their shelves. I mean, go to a grocery store. That is a good idea of a good place to determine who your demographic is in that area. You can go look. I mean, HEB and by there's Manchac and Slaughter. That Manchac and Slaughter one is different than the one that's in Circle C and the other HEB over there. They basically have different products they sell. Why? Because different demographics of people. So they would be stupid to try to sell certain items in one location, because they're not going to sell it, because the demographic is not, the people don't want that item there. So grocery stores are awesome, and HEB does a great job at tailoring it to who their target market is. And just go to HEB on Riverside to HEB on Far West Boulevard on North Austin. Total different clientele, different products. And is that wrong? Is it? I don't think so. I think it's smart, because you're trying to tailor to who you're selling to. I mean, granted, maybe I'm leaving a market. I try not to leave a market unturned, but again, I might, might not be targeting a certain clientele, and that's okay. And it's okay because I have to narrow it down because I can't just have everybody because everybody's not going to come. So I need to narrow it down, and it's okay to narrow it down. Let's see, geographical, all of that, but make your menu and make your business fit where you are and fit the region. Or if it doesn't fit the region, that's fine. You might be a one-off or something like that, but just make sure that's what people want in that area. Census data, you can go get anything from the census. I mean, we just had a census. I don't even think it's completed yet. I don't think it is, but there is census data is very, very important and to help determine lots of different things. But for me, it helps determine what kind of clientele I'm going to be getting or wanting. Census tells me population, dwelling age, household dwelling, marital status, children, family, kind of household type, language, income, all of that sort of stuff, immigration status, and all of that helps me out to determine how I want to how I want to advertise, how I want to, how do people in this group get their information? How do they get their news? How do they get their information? So I want to, yeah, we love word of mouth, but word of mouth is not always going to happen. So I need to advertise to who my clientele is and where they are.
Guess we lost Chef.
I think he got bumped off.
Hey, how many of y'all are planning on doing the hybrid classes? I'm just curious.
Not yet.
Doing what?
Maybe after the first of the year.
Yeah, no, I'm going to hybrid classes.
Oh yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing, like, actually being with other people.
Yeah, facts.
So sorry, I got knocked offline. My apologies. But what was some people are y'all all going on hybrid? Are y'all wanting to do a hybrid?
I mean, I'm going hybrid.
Yeah.
There was like a little handful, and then some waiting until after the first, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. All right. Sorry, guys. My apologies. And we're almost done. I'm going to push through this real quick, and we'll get you out of here. Let's see. again, we're kind of beating that dead horse. Oh, wait, I'm not sure. All right, so we're beating that dead horse. We got social class, culture, lifestyle, you name it. That's what we're looking for. We're trying to figure out what are the hobbies. What are are they retired? Do they buy? Do they own their property? Do they rent it? Where do they go on vacation? All of that. All of that helps me determine how to market to each individual. Am I going to use Facebook? Am I going to use Instagram? Am I going to use LinkedIn? Am I going to use what am I going to do? Commercials. I think, especially nowadays, guys, I have no cable. I only have streaming devices, right? So I only stream. I get commercials from Hulu, yes, but other than that, I don't get many commercials. So that means that however you target to me, you're going to have to target to me in a different way other than TV commercials or whatever else. So just all sorts of habits, behavior, trying to determine which groups you want, all of that. Why why is it important to target your customers? Just because we want them to come buy our food. We want them to come into our business. All of that sort of stuff. How I write stuff on the menu, how I design it, everything is tailored to you. It's like a casino, guys. Just think, a casino is tailored so where you won't think about what time it is. So you won't think about how much money you're spending, right? They give you play chips so you won't feel like it's real money. They don't put clocks in the casino so you won't know what time it is. All sorts of things. They tailor it to the customer, to everything. They're there to make money, right? So you need to tailor it to whoever it is, and targeting whoever your target is, you want to do. You want to remember, an informed decision is power, man. Do you feel like if I feel like if you don't use a marketing ploy, if you don't market to a certain population, to a certain group, you're not going to have as much business, because of it is very difficult to market to all the markets, right? You need to only tailor it to certain few markets, and again, if I get a different clientele, dude, that's just gravy money. That's awesome. I did great, but I have to tailor it to somebody, and I'm going to tailor it to a certain few people. Think about Insomnia Cookies, guys. Who are the people that they are targeting?
People who are either have a sweet tooth, or people coming out of the bars who are drunk and have a sweet tooth.
Yeah, for sure. Sweet tooth.
At least in my time.
Yeah, no, I think it's for sure. I think it's a great, they come to you fresh and hot, all of that, right? It's a great concept, and I love it. But they're looking for the after bar scene, or the people that are finished hitting smoking weed, or they've got the munchies, whatever else. They're looking, and they're looking for me whenever late at night I'm sitting up and I want some sort of suite, and I want someone to, it is a great concept, but they're not looking for people in, maybe they might get business people to buy cookies, but they're probably not, that's not their target market, whatever else. So you need to look at the target market, create the menus that will make your customers hungry for more. You want people to come for more, that you want them to come in and really want to be, want to spend their own money. So we're gonna watch this video, and then we're gonna pretty much kind of wrap it up and call it a day.
While there are many facets and details involved in starting a restaurant, we found that success in a restaurant business boils down to accomplishing just 3 basic steps. Step 1 is finding out what they want. Find out what people want that they can't currently get in your local market. In other words, what type of food, service style, atmosphere, location, look, and even price point would attract a sufficient number of customers to buy what you're proposing to offer. Here's the point. It doesn't really matter what you like. It doesn't matter what you may be passionate about. It doesn't really matter what you like to cook. The only thing that really matters when you think about opening a restaurant is what do the people in your market area want to buy. What type of dining experience would attract a sufficient number of customers willing to pay a price that would make it possible for your restaurant to make an adequate profit? Let me restate that. The very first step you must get right to have any chance of being successful in the restaurant business is to identify a concept or dining experience that is in some way unique or different or better that will appeal to enough people to choose your restaurant over all the competition. Simple to understand, not so simple to do, but that's step 1. Step 2 is once you know what they want, you've got to go and get it. This means that within the local market, you got to secure the right location, create the look, the ambience, assemble the menu, create the recipes, the equipment, staff, and skills. In other words, you have to put together or pull together all the physical components and other elements needed to create and deliver the food, the service, and experience the people in your market want. And finally, step 3. Then you've got to give it to them. Giving it to them is execution, the day-to-day activities of preparing and delivering the food, service, and experience that people want. It includes implementing systems, hiring the right people, training, timing, cooking, cleaning, all those activities, decisions, and actions that take place every day in a restaurant to deliver a great guest experience. Now let's look at steps 1 and 2. These are the startup steps. These activities and functions take place in the startup phase before the restaurant opens. Finding out what they want and then getting it determines whether you have a shot at having a good restaurant. A good restaurant means there's a demand for what the restaurant is offering in terms of the entire guest experience. Step 3 comes into play once the restaurant opens. That's when operating systems, management, and daily execution kicks in. Creating the experience that people want consistently every day so that they come back again and tell their friends how great the restaurant is. But stage 3 isn't just about managing operations or running the restaurant. It's also about managing the business side of the restaurant. Because to remain open, the restaurant must earn an adequate profit and return on investment for the owner. While steps 1 and 2 determine if the venture has the potential to become a good restaurant, step 3 is all about the good restaurant becoming a profitable and sustainable business. I want to make a very important distinction here. You really need to understand this. The owner's role in the startup stage, steps 1 and 2, is primarily one of being an entrepreneur, essentially a creator, a risk taker, a catalyst. In step 3, the owner's role shifts from entrepreneur to more of a manager and leader, as the business moves from startup to operations. Now the owner must hire and build a dedicated team of employees and is responsible for managing a host of daily activities centered around creating loyal customers, growing market share, and building a profitable business enterprise. So when you start a restaurant from scratch, the owner must have the skills and temperament of an entrepreneur during the startup and development phase, and then be able to successfully pivot into a very different role as a manager and leader as the restaurant moves into the operating phase. Now, what would you say is the number one? No, it's not the location. Nope. Not the concept, not the food, not the service, not the menu, not the recipes, none of that. What determines the success or failure of a restaurant more than anything else is the owner. The owner is the number one driver of success or lack of success in every restaurant. Why? Because the owner makes all the decisions. For example, in the startup phase, the owner makes decisions about the concept, the location, the lease, the menu design, and so on. Then, once the restaurant is open, the owner continues to make ongoing decisions about policies, personnel, purchasing, marketing, and on and on. Those decisions lead to actions and activities, which ultimately lead to results. Results that will be measured or expressed in financial terms, such as sales, profit, or loss. So the owner is ultimately responsible for everything that happens in the restaurant and the results the restaurant achieves. So let's recap the key points that we've discussed. There are 3 basic but essential steps to restaurant success. Step 1, you've got to find out what they want. Remember, it doesn't matter what you want to provide, it's what your potential customers want to buy. Step 2, go and get it. Once you know what they want, you've got to create what they want with the right location, menu, recipes, staff, the entire guest experience. And step 3, give it to them. The daily ongoing execution of delivering the experience your guests want every day, over and over again, and doing it in a consistent, profitable manner. Steps 1 and 2 take place prior to opening day, when the owner functions primarily as an entrepreneur. In step 3, the owner's role becomes more of a leader and manager, focused on daily operations, developing a loyal, capable staff, and creating happy, returning customers. Also, understand the owner not only needs to create a good restaurant, but also have the management skills to turn their good restaurant into a profitable, sustainable business. There are lots of good independent restaurants that have great food and lots of customers, but they are not very profitable, and they are not good businesses. And finally, restaurant results are ultimately dependent upon the owner, because the owner has the power to make all the decisions. And it's the owner's decisions and ability to see them properly implemented that will determine the restaurant's results. So I've got some questions for you. What type of restaurant are you thinking about opening? How do you know it's what people really want? How could you find out? If you know what they want, do you have the ability and resources to go and get it, to put together all the pieces and components to create the experience that people want? And finally, do you have the management and leadership skills to build a quality team, run the operations, and turn the restaurant into a profitable business? That is really the essence of what it takes to be a successful independent restaurant owner. Find out what they want, go and get it, and give it to them. Simple to understand, but not easy to do. Next, we'll talk about the different ways to get into the restaurant business.
All right, hold on one second. Let me get back to one slide. All right, let me stop sharing, then share. Okay, so we have done, basically, you are, hopefully you have done, but if you haven't, you need to turn this in to me. Basically, steps 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that was your homework that was over the weekend or over the weekend. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to come up for this week. We're going to be doing steps basically 4, 5, and kind of 6 in a way of what kind of style of service. Is it going to be like a fast food? Is it going to be a food truck? Is it going to be a catering restaurant? Whatever else. And you've already kind of done that. But this week we are going to create a logo. You need to create a logo for your restaurant. You need to find the demographics of your restaurant. And I'll explain that in just a second. And the style of your restaurant, or what kind of service you're going to be doing. So what I'm going to ask you to do is come up with a logo. You can either get on to, you can create a logo, you can do whatever you want to do, but create a logo of your restaurant. You're going to get the demographics. And when I say demographics, you're going to go, and I will, like the census, what I would like you to do is tell me, okay, if it's going to be downtown Austin, what is your target market? Who are the people that you want to market to? And when you find out, I would like you to kind of look up in let me find that census. I think it's census.com or .org or to find the demographics. Where was that? Hold on a second. I've got to find that. Oh yeah, city data. I'm sorry, city data. City -data.com. That's a good reference where you can kind of get an idea of, you put in your location where you're gonna wanting to put your restaurant. And I would like to see your demographics. And tomorrow I will pull up some some copies of old of these that I have from other classes, but I will show you the demographics that restaurants, and it really kind of depends on what city, what town, where you live, all of those things determine your demographics. And let me get back to. So this week, we're working on logo, demographics, and style. And maybe even I might, depending on if everybody getting close to be done, I might start getting you to look up, start thinking about menu items, what kind of menu items you want for your restaurant. And as you're going along, start thinking about some menu items that you would like. We're going to need 9 items. 9 items, and it doesn't have to be soup, salad, entree. It can be 9 different items. It doesn't matter. If you want to make it a pastry facility, a pastry place, and you want to do 9 different pastries, that's fine. But 9 items we're going to be doing, but that's later on. So this week we're focusing on logo, demographics, and style. And I want you to start thinking about menu items that you're going to have on your menu. Any questions, problems about what I'm asking you to do for this week?
No.
Okay. And I would like you to share the document also with me. And we will that's basically it. And and what I'm going to do is hold on, let me share.
Oh.
Yes, I'm listening.
If So my document is something that I'm actually like using to write my business plan. Is it okay? Because I know, look, I don't have the capital to start a restaurant right now or to buy
Yeah.
a ranch retreat. So I've built it into stages where I can start off with private catering or private dinners as a
Yes.
private. Is that okay if we break it down? Because I want this to be something I
Totally.
actually use. Okay. Thank you
Totally.
so much.
I mean, this can be a real thing, you know, I mean, if you want it to be. But it's going to go even further along in another class, because this is restaurant operations, and then they have entrepreneurship class that we use this same project, and it's a class after this later on, but they'll say, okay, get your project that you use for restaurant operations, and then we're going to extend that even more. And basically, we're trying to making a business plan. You know, I mean, that's what we're making. So
Okay,
for
thank
sure.
you, Jeff.
Yeah. Any questions, problems, concerns, issues? Are we good? Everybody good? All right. If I have not received your name, your concept, and your mission statement, please make sure you send that to me, because because we're adding more and more stuff. The more and more behind you get, the worse it's going to get for you. Okay, I'm trying to keep it going and giving you little segments of it instead of saying, here, do the project. And I'm trying, you know, instead of doing that, I'm trying to break it up a little bit. So don't get too far behind. I think as of yesterday, I think I finally got all of uh, those breakout little those little things of like check your knowledges and those other little things that are in there. I think there was one that I had to fix yesterday that someone called me about or texted me about that I fixed, but they should be all open. And guys, all of those, I think every single test, every single thing that's on that portal, I think is allowed to do multiple attempts. You can do as many attempts as you want to, or as many, and you get the highest grade, whatever else. So if you want to do it, if you get like a 5 or a 4 on the check your knowledge, you want to do it again, go ahead, do it again. And you can get it as many times as till you get the grade you want. But make sure you keep doing that, because those things will sneak up on you at the very end of class. But other than that, I hope you have a great day. Be safe, be careful. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll be here for a few minutes if you need to talk to me. Other than that, you can get off the line, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right, Chef. Have a good day.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Chef.
Bye. Hey guys, y'all good? I'm gonna end the class unless y'all need me. All right, guys, bye. I'm gonna end the class. Everybody's gonna get kicked off now. Bye, guys.